Top 5. People should already be able to guess. Let's see. What have I hinted at here? 2 of these.
I mean, I should be able to guess. It doesn't mean I'm going to.
Because of what has not come up yet. Other songs that we talked about, like Decisive Collision and Advance, have come up.
Mm-hmm. I can think of a couple that haven't. I think I can think of like 3.
You should be able to name 3 of these. Probably the 3 that were on your list as well.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm looking at.
What order?
I don't know what order. I think I might have an idea of what one could be, but I'm not going to pretend I know that for certain.
Well, let's start with number 5, which is one of the 2 that is not on your list. And hit it.
I did consider this one. Didn't make the cut, but it was in consideration. I think it was just the lion that killed it for me.
Everything but the lion. And maybe the lion helps me remember it more. Because I think this intro is really cool. It didn't even need to build a Heimdall for me to think it was effective, but it does, which ties everything together at the end. So I think it's really well done. By the way, I have at least one representative from each game in the top 5.
Really? That's fun. I like it.
Which was not on purpose, but
that's just how it happens. That's a good, happy accident, as they call them. I had 3 of the 4 represented, which is pretty good considering my biases, where my biases tend to lean. Yeah, I like this part.
Change now? Sure. Oh.
I forgot it did this.
Kind of tying everything together in a bittersweet way, which seems appropriate given the motifs. Whether you like the direction they went with for this or not, it fits what they've done for sure. This part's pretty cool too. Another key change. And then bring the Heimdall back. And then just step down. Just step down. They knew they couldn't. You don't need to go up. You don't go up and down a ladder. You just pick one.
Yep. I do have to give this song props as well because it's one of the few final boss battle themes in this series that has stuck out to me in any meaningful way.
Yeah, it's definitely a weakness in the Trails game for me. And that's not to say that I think they're bad. There's a couple I believe in my reserve top 25, but none of them were really like, wow. I think they're neat in the moment, but not the type of songs I'd listen to outside of it.
Yeah, it's like it's fine in game, but like I've never gone back and listened to them outside of the game. which I don't know why. I mean, there are some final boss themes in other games that I absolutely adore and listen to constantly. So it's just kind of a weird thing how some things resonate with you more than others.
For those who are really astute and like trying to guess ahead, which is cool if you can do it. I like doing stuff like that. I have 2 songs from 3 on my list. We haven't hit any of them yet.
I think I know what both of them are.
You also now know what games the remaining 4 are from, because there's 1 from each game in the top 5, and there's 2 from 3. So 4's done. That's the last 4 entry. Mm-hmm. And I think it's time we finally open up the folder for 3, and we select this.
Mm-hmm. Are you kidding? No, this isn't actually your number 3. Are you kidding me? No! Heat and Mind is playing in your skull!
That's a little high for me. That's not my number 4. What the fuck are you talking about? Get the fuck out of here, Heretic Researcher. It was on my next 25.
Not.
I told you in your list it wasn't actually on mine.
I know that, but then you started playing it, and I was like, please tell me this isn't a lie.
That would have been so good. I thought about making that number 1 for the laugh of it, and I was like, no.
I can't do that. That'd be hilarious. I'm not going to waste
my big number 1 reveal on fucking Heretic Researcher. Which I do like the track, but obviously it did not make my top 25.
Mm-hmm.
This one is the one that I referred to when we talked about it in your section, so we'll play the other version of it, and you can hear it.
Oh, yeah.
It just kind of goes through everything more quickly in it.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Way.
It kind of like skipped the other thing and then just kind of went into it.
It's like every like other measure.
Yep.
Maybe the most abrupt in the whole song. Right to the brass section.
Whoa. It's fairly clean, though, considering.
Showing like the scene that hits here in the version of the game. Oh, I almost want to just go play that trailer next.
Yeah, I would like to see it actually because I don't remember what that was.
I do that easily. I'll work on it.
Okay.
Don't play yet. I guess that kind of this is also the version I used as the intro of the podcast when I made the new video intro because I liked the song this much.
Yep.
And it had that cool like deep bass sound that you hear half the time in like movie trailers.
Yeah.
Not quite the same one. That's more like a and this is a little more percussion-y than that, but let's see. So I have it over here. If I can, let me think about what the best way to do this is. I was not expecting to have done this. I can't believe you've done this. I'll probably have to cover us up just to make it simple, but that's fine. Capture a window, sure, and then do that, and then give me Chrome. Yeah, that's the one. Just paste it over our faces. I don't give a damn.
Totally fine.
It's going to be quieter by comparison. Don't have an easy way to fix that, but it's fine. We just heard the version anyways.
Yeah.
So, like, it just gets into things more quickly, and then it hits up here. Title's there, and then we go right into people.
Yeah. Oh, Tina.
don't know if it's like the similar bass line, the drums, but just the way they weave through this fits the song so perfectly.
It really does.
That this is like my favorite piece of media in the Cold Steel series.
It is very good.
So when it showed up again as the Final Dungeon theme, I was like, oh, cool, and it's an extended version. That's cool, too. But the way this fits this video is like the peak to me. Cedric.
Yeah, screw that guy. Oh, yeah, Vita. Remember her when she didn't do shit in that game?
And then Valimar, and then we pan across our old buddies that we're happy they're back, and then who's this coming out of the fucking shadows at the most important part of the song?
Oh, yeah.
And the camera's like moving around. You're like, who the fuck is that? Wait a minute.
It's very good. I mean, that song is so good, and the fact that they can perfectly sync up the music and have a really cool, like, opening too. I approve.
Remove that window capture. Thank you. Thank you, window capture. You did a great job.
Thank you for showing me that, by the way, because I didn't remember. Like, I remember that they used the song there, but I didn't remember how well it synced up and everything.
Yeah, I remember pulling those so we could watch them for the channel, and I was like, I was so blown away by that one in particular. I don't know what it just. Something about it just gets me every time. I'm just like, damn.
It's very cool.
Let's close that down. So that's my number 4. We played the full version in her list. I think I do prefer the full version overall as a song, but just the way that fits that trailer. And I thought, what the hell, it's a chance to mix it up.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
3 songs left. We love the Heimdall motif. Why not play the Heimdall motif one last time?
Aww. So this is your number 3?
Number 3.
Not far off from mine. Mine was number 2, so.
Yes.
That's acceptable. You don't have to die for that. There are other songs I'll kill you for. You're still hoofing it. You're like, oh, God.
I keep looking over my shoulder.
You're on the run from those previous songs.
And then this part of the song hits, and it sounds like I'm running too.
Yes. What happened to your camera? There it is.
It's blurry. It's fine. We'll figure it out.
Okay. I've never seen it blurry for like an extended amount of time before.
I don't know why either, because it wasn't like, unless I put my hand out here, maybe from the punching.
It
does autofocus, but if I'm not moving, it's just on me.
Yeah, it's weird.
I gotta center myself too. I got crazy. I probably changed the way I was sitting.
I do that a lot.
When I talked about certain songs below this on the list having little sections I didn't like, this has no section I don't like.
Yep.
None.
It's so good, start to finish. Every single part, I'm like, that's cool. That's really cool. And then it just gets better and better. And I'm like, how? How does this song keep getting better? I also like the castle, too. The Infernal Castle, like as a dungeon. Yeah. And the boss rush. It's a fun sequence.
Probably my favorite final dungeon in the games.
Yep.
Because I like the dungeon overall. It's all red and ominous. Mm-hmm. And then the boss rush is great.
Yep.
And the ending hurts.
The ending is so good. And it's so painful, but it's amazing.
Bring that heavy percussion back. Part almost sounds like Mission Impossible or something to me. Now we're on a spy caper. Why are we on a spy caper? I don't know why we're on a spy caper.
But we're on a spy caper now. It's happening.
Why is there a giant ominous red castle in Heimdall? I don't fucking know. So sure.
Yeah.
how much I like this song that I'm content not to talk over it. Just kind of listen to it.
Yep.
These top 4, not even 5, I liked Majestic Roar quite a bit. These top 4 all were the type that were like stop and pay attention in the game.
Yes.
And I guess Wintry Arrival also was sort of like that, but even then, I don't know if that was just as much the moment as it was the song itself.
Right.
But all 4 of these, and there's probably only 40 or 50 songs in my life for video games that have done that.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact there are 4 from this series, that says a lot. I mean, that's some of the stuff I've loved forever. That's Seymour Battle from 10. That's what else is an example? Shit, I know there's other ones and I'm not thinking of them. But there are songs where I hear it in game and I'm like, oh shit.
Right.
Both of the last 2 and each of the next 2 fit the bill. We have 2 left on the list. Number 1, number 2. One of them was not on your list at all.
I think I know what it was.
One of them was on your list. You
Okay.
should be able to guess both, even if you don't know the order.
Okay, well, I know One Way to Netherworld was not on my list anywhere, and I have a sneaking suspicion I know where it's going to be on yours.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to think what the other one that was on my list that we haven't heard up until this point. I think I know what it is.
You should.
I think it's Into the Abyss.
So our number 2 track, those probably are the last 2, but I mean, who could say really? You know, like anybody couldn't say for sure, right? Here's number 2. The more time has gone on, the more I'm like, I like this more than Spiral, and I love Spiral. It's number 4.
Yep.
But the variations that this has versus that, I don't know.
Yep.
This intro is cool to me. This is another one that really benefits from headphones.
Oh, yeah, it really does.
Just a little bit of build time, just a little bit. And this part. And then let's do it better.
There's like a voice and like a whistle or something in the background too.
Kind of reminiscent of Untitled Force.
Yeah.
One of the best parts of that in the super arranged version is high-pitched female vocals.
Yep.
And then Heimdall is here in this
Why
track,
not?
which Spiral doesn't have.
Oh yeah, I guess it doesn't. It's true.
Because we are in Heimdall for the end of 3.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, just a taste, and then into the Spiral part. Now, I do think this part is better in Spiral of Erebos than it is here, but it's everything leading up to this that I kind of prefer.
Mm-hmm. It's fair.
Gotta hit the key change.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't feel like it's any short shrift to Spiral of Erebos. It's 4th.
Oh, for sure.
This is 2nd. But as I was looking at the top 5 and I was making it in my head, this was in advance. I hadn't built out my top 25 that early. I did that this week. But I was like, all right, what are my like huge hits from this series? And I couldn't just place one way to another world.
Yep. It's probably like if I were to do like a 26 through 50, it would be there for sure. But I guess I just decided if I have to have one of that motif, I'm gonna do
which I get.
Spiral.
That's tricky, but I realized like I'm not putting one of those two off my list because I would take one way. I'm not gonna not put Spiral of Erebos on my list.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, that was where Perfect Stage made it in because I'm like, well, if I'm gonna have two and I like the third one, I might as well put the third in because yeah, I can make room for the. But I was looking at the ones that were like 26, 28, and I'm like, do I really feel that bad that those don't make the cut? No.
Yeah,
they're down there
fair.
for a reason, right? So it wasn't super high stakes there. Number 1.
I think I already predicted what it was, but we'll see if I was right or totally off base.
People who have watched us play should know what it is.
I had a feeling.
I can play this part on piano. The problem is when you try and bring the violin in, it's a third hand. I don't have 3 hands.
You're going to have to record the first 2 piano parts separately, then record the piano, and then smash them on top of each other.
Then learn violin.
Then learn violin. Yes, of course.
Then it still won't sound as good as this, so what have I done with my life? Violin there and that synth playing the same notes. The synth is syncopated, so it's just hitting quickly. The violin's holding and then like doing vibrato on some of the notes too. Harmonies here are great. This is such soulful violin playing. Piano that's been in the background the whole time is still do 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 do. That is maybe top 5 all time. And anybody who has interacted with this channel long enough to know my proclivities knows that I have terabytes of video game music. Like hundreds, if not thousands of albums from stuff I've played and even some stuff I haven't over the years. So to say that probably makes the cut top 5 means more than just nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking back to playing the first game, and I'm like, what was it about the old schoolhouse? I mean, the music was clear to me, but I was like, was that really the only reason I look forward to it every time? Because it's just sewers.
It really is just nasty-ass sewers, and you don't know why you're there, or why it's important until, like, the very end. So, yeah.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. In some ways, I kind of liked that, because we talked about it at the time when you were playing it, but it's got this kind of rhythm to the gameplay where it's, okay, we're going to field study. Okay, I've spent enough time doing that, so now I'm excited to go back, have a free day. Okay, now I've done that, I get to go to the old schoolhouse and level up a bit. But I think the only reason I looked forward to this was this song. Because the first one that you hear earlier on, you don't hear this until I think the third or fourth floor, is fine. And it sets the stage, and it has that sort of air of mysteriousness to it. But then this hit for the first time, and I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Like, it got to the point where I remember I finished the dungeon, and I was about to go into the next room where the boss was, and I was like, nope. And I went out of the save room and back into the dungeon to hear the track more before I fought the boss.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, that's clearly then something that has resonated, because that is not normal behavior.
Mm-hmm.
I am sure I'm the only person who has that number 1. Maybe on the fucking planet. I don't care. And everybody's entitled to their own opinions on it. I'm not being like, oh, you're wrong for having whatever one you like. If Spiral of Erebos is somebody's number 1, I think that's a perfectly fine pick.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, this is number 1, and it's not that close.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was automatically, when I started making the list, 1.
Yep.
And the other ones, like One Way or Another World, was not automatically 2. So this was the only one that was guaranteed its position.
Yep.
So that is my list. Thoughts?
Good overall. You don't have to die yet. There were a couple of outrageous, in my opinion, choices, but you'll survive, I think.
Yeah, wait till you see how low your number 1 dropped because of our combined list.
No, don't say that. No, you're right, though. You had Blue Destination at like
13.
13, damn it. No. That makes me very sad.
So that's the end of my list, my top 25. Like we talked about at the end of her list, comment down below with what you thought. If there's anything that both of us missed or just one of us missed that you think warrants inclusion, you can tell us. We may not listen, but at the very least, it'll be interesting to see what other people really have liked. That part I actually like, because it's interesting just to see what folks' tastes are, you know?
Yeah, and I think both of our lists were good for different reasons. We had, I think, a good variety and also some good overlap, but it wasn't like we ranked everything in the same spot, because that would be boring if that happened with every song.
If we had done that and we were listening to the same songs like 23 times.
Oh my god.
I don't know, but I'm pleased with how it worked out, considering I was taking a chance because I didn't know your list.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew your taste well enough to know some of your list, but I could have only guessed maybe 15 of your 25. There's some in there I would not have thought of.
Yep.
Like, I knew I Nail Keep would be on yours. I didn't think it'd be super high.
Yep.
But there are others I was like, oh, wow, okay.
Mm-hmm. There were some that even surprised me, too, as I was going through it. And there were some that I just, like, forgot about. And I was like, oh, well, that needs to be somewhere on here, so.
Yeah, well, Iron Command was that on my list. Sure, it was only 22, but I was like, if I had to guess before I went into this, I would have been like, that's more like top 40 or something. Yeah, that's a good song, but it just kept hanging in there when other songs tried to rise up and challenge it. I'll read off my other ones real quick. I kept teasing this other 25 list. I think I mentioned a couple of them, but like Let's Study from 1.
Oh, yeah.
Just because, I mean, I think it's a good song, but again, it's sort of akin to Leisure Day, which was my 24, where it's just kind of like, I heard this a lot, but I actually liked it. It didn't grate on me. And there are certain tracks in this series, or any series, that you hear a lot, and you're like, okay, I kind of liked this once, and now...
Now, the 100th time, it's getting old.
It's beginning to grate. Skies of a Strange Land from 1. These are all in order.
Yep.
Because I just kept them together as I made my list. Tile Link of Arcus. I really like the super version of that.
I don't remember that one. I'll have to check it out.
I can play a snippet real quick so you recognize it.
Okay.
The boss theme.
Oh,
stop. Let's see. Remain Sleeping Underground. I don't even remember what that one is. Hold on.
What is that?
Some of these I recognize the tune to, but the title eludes me, because for a long time I had a Japanese titled soundtrack, so it was just like track number and then who the fuck knows.
Right.
I can't read Japanese. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Of course, Underground. Now that I think about it, I'm an idiot. Because this has that real deep bass line that we all liked when we heard. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yep.
It's coming. This is just like the lighter version.
Oh.
I'm going to get to the hard part because it's my favorite part anyways. So what the hell? We got 15 seconds.
Yeah. Dun, dun. Okay, yeah, I do remember this.
Now, there's other parts of that song I like too, but do I like any part as much as that? No, which is why it's not in the top 25.
Yep.
Don't Be Defeated by a Friend was on my list.
Okay, I do remember that one.
I like that more in-game than I do out, I think.
Yeah.
When it plays in-game, it's like, oh, because you're usually fighting other party members like Sarah or whatever, so it matters. Ruhr was on my second list.
Yep.
I also don't remember what To Become the Foundation of an Era is.
Is that the title theme from 1?
I don't think so.
Or is this a different thing?
Ah, yes. Also, it's loud.
Jesus, yeah.
This is one of those, anytime you play a good song that lasts in between fights and in fights.
This one is good. I kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, didn't make the list, but it is one I like quite a bit. I, of course, put this on my list and referenced it.
Of course you did. Ah!
I don't know why this bothers you so much.
I don't know either, but now it's just like in my brain as something I hate. I just hate it.
It's
I don't
a
know
perfectly
why.
pleasant song. It's even got that same waltz that we talked about. 1, 2,
hate it.
3, 1.
I don't know why. But there's something about that music box that just bothers me a lot.
I don't know.
It just sounds like something's going to jump out of the bushes and kill me. You know?
Blitzkrieg from 2, one of the battle themes. Altina, which we talked about, was on your list. Heteromorphy was on my list. Reverie Corridor.
That's also... Oh, Heteromorphy. I don't remember Heteromorphy, but
I
I
remember that one. Heteromorphy. I can pull that up real quick. Why not? We're doing these fast.
Yeah.
Because this has this really cool middle breakdown. Like, this part's neat. And it kind of builds nice, right? So, like, it hits that part, and then we get this more organ part.
Oh, yeah!
There's a chorus that hits the ha, and then it hits the drums. There's some percussion.
Oh, yeah.
But for me, it's this middle section.
Oh, yeah. This part's really good.
This was one of the last ones out.
Yeah.
Like, I could have tossed out Land of Horse Theme, aka Land of Blue Skies, for this and not really broken a sweat.
Yep.
But it was close. Then you get to this cool breakdown.
Yeah. Man, I forgot about this track.
I think this was kind of slept on. I don't know that the fandom in general gives this track enough credit.
I think my problem is, like, I don't care about the first, like, the beginning stuff is fine, but it's this latter half stuff that's, like, really good. I always forget
from, like,
about
145 on, which, again, is tough because I'm looking at my list and I'm like, well, these other songs don't have a weakness that takes up 40% of the song.
Yep.
But a lot there I like.
Yep.
Reverie Corridor was on your list. I already made the Heretic Researcher joke. I don't need to pull it up again.
No, please.
All the songs from 3 that didn't make it. Toughness, which was...
Toughness was a consideration for me as well.
It was close. I actually thought it was on my list. I told you I had a song with 2 exclamation points on my list, and I lied. It didn't make the cut.
You did lie.
That was,
okay.
I think, one of the other last couple ones off.
Unintentional lie. I forgive you. But that one actually, yeah, I did consider that one, and it didn't quite make the cut.
I don't remember Beyond the Flowing Cloud, but I assume it's a route theme. Nope, that's Beyond the Journey. I can't read from here. 121.
Did you have Starting Line as a thing, out of curiosity?
I did not.
Oh, I remember this track.
Yeah. Really liked this theme, just not good enough to take out anything else, you know?
Yep.
For
whatever reason, I really liked Starting Line, which I'm going to have to listen to it again because I think there's some Reverie Corridor in there, which might explain it.
Nope.
Oh, yeah. This one's pretty good.
Another track I really like quite a bit, but really didn't cut it when I had 21 rock solid picks on my list.
Yep.
And a handful of spots left, you know? Between the Cliffs, I think, is a route theme. Where are you? Yeah.
Oh my god, I really like this one too.
Especially the intro. The problem is after the first minute or so, I'm like,
Yep, like I remember this first like minute or so. I don't know what happens afterwards, but I just remember that like intro is really nice.
Yeah, after the intro, it's thoroughly okay, which doesn't get a top 25 spot.
Yep.
The Vantage Master theme.
The one from 3 is better than the one from 4. Please play a snippet of it for me because I like it better and I need it in my brain. Okay, it's in my brain again.
Yeah.
Now I can forget the 4
kind
version.
Of groove, and then you get to the main part, and then you get to the chorus later. The theme from 4 is fine.
Yeah, fine, but I really remember liking the one from 3s, and it changed, and I was like, no, why?
Yeah.
You had a good theme.
Salt is the Rock of Juno is another one. Juno is another one that is similar to what we talked about before, where plays during a section that's important and lasts into battle, which I like.
I don't remember this track at all, actually.
You might recognize it up here. This is the most recognizable part to me.
Kind of, yeah. Well, kind of for me, I mean. Yeah. It's a little familiar now. Okay. But I can't place it at any particular scene. It's been too long, I think.
If I had been really trying to reach, if I was like, man, how am I going to get 25 songs? Which, again, the music in this series is too good. One I could have cheated and put on is this.
Wait, what is this? Hold on, give me a second. I know this melody from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. Hold on.
If it changed instruments, you would recognize it.
Probably if it did, that would help me, but hold on, give me a second. Oh, so the song's almost over, though.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Yeah, if I was like, man, they put in a lot of 5-minute songs, and I better put in a 44-second one.
Balance it out. Is it Whereabouts of Light? It is sort of like Whereabouts of Light. It's very similar to it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it is? Did I guess correctly for once?
Yeah.
Sweet! Yay! That song is so good.
And then I had a handful of stragglers from 4. Unlikely Combination. That was the Aryan Road and Osborne battle from the midway point.
I meant to go back and listen to that one because I thought it sounded cool at the time, and I completely didn't. So it's
a lot of people who love that one, and I like it, so I'm not trying to like shit on it or anything. But I was like, it's good. And again, it made this cut, so it has to mean something. There's a ton of tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Mystic Core I mentioned, but it's technically a Crossbell song, but it is on the soundtrack.
Mm.
Betting the Fate of the World I did like quite a bit. That was another one of the last ones off.
Oh yeah, I did consider this one too.
And then the other two we've mentioned, To the Future was on your list, and Belief, the super version specifically.
I actually don't know if I had Belief on my list.
This might have been 26, because it has, like this part kind of sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
This part's neat. And then it builds up to this part.
Oh yeah, this part's really cool.
So it was close. That was one of the last 3 cuts as well. Like when I look at the list, I think of those few that I mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Those were almost in the top 25, but they weren't.
Yep.
So I made a modified scoring system similar to what we used to use in those top 25 lists we did on the website that are still there if you want to go check them out. We ranked all sorts of stuff like male and female video game characters and series and all sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
And then I added up the points for how our 2 lists went.
Yes.
In what is somewhat fitting, I suppose. For the most part, I think all 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, all the songs that were on both of our lists are in the top 25, unsurprisingly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Into the Abyss is number 1 because a first and a fourth slightly beats out a second and a third, which Phantasmal Blaze was. Those are the clear-cut 1 and 2. Spoiler of Erebos is pretty clearly 3.
Mm-hmm.
Then Blue Destination's 4th because it was your number 1.
Okay, so I saved it still, though. It was in the top 5. I'll take it.
I lied to you.
You did lie. How dare you? How very dare.
Bring Up Trust, Awakening Will.
Mm-hmm.
One Way to the Netherworld is 7th. On our group list because it was my number 2, which is enough points to just...
and of course I didn't have it anywhere, so it doesn't help.
Mm-hmm. Decisive Collision, Transcend Beat, Majestic Roar, my number 5, is our 10th.
Mm-hmm.
And then like End of Saga, Atrocious Raid, Heated Mind, Awakening, Castle the Saint, Reverie Corridor, which was on my honorable mention, Holy Saint, Holy Spirit. Like it just goes on from there. And like Heimdall's on there, Legram, Wintry Arrival, those were the other 3 that overlapped. So the bottom list isn't super interesting, but basically Into the Abyss holds up as the number 1 if we combine both of our lists.
I like it. It's a good number 1.
It has my influence on it because if I don't have that number 1, then Phantasmal Blaze is.
Yep.
If it's any other spot but 1,
yep,
then Phantasmal Blaze is high enough. That's even if it doesn't move up. If it just stays where it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's about it. I put LOL after my note for Thor's Military Academy Festival. Just so you know.
Yes, that is absolutely information I need.
Because that way, I kind of just liked that track, so it was worthy of making the first cut. But then I was like, God, can I fit this in? And I was like, no, I'm not putting a meme in, because I can still play the song and laugh about it without actually having it in my official top 25. So I didn't.
You don't want to fudge up your numbers.
Right. So I will, if I remember, paste these lists down either in the description or in the top comments so that everybody can see them quickly and easily and let us know what you think. We may still do this for some future series as well. Might be a nice way to fill in some content and take a bit of a break, because we can kind of knock these out in one batch and have a week's worth of videos.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. I like a lot of different video game songs and music and things, so I'm all about making lists for things. It's kind of a fun pastime for me. So
yeah, and they're always fun because they bring about debate. Sometimes for better or worse, if your list is absolute trash, or if you post it to rile people up and get clicks, which obviously we don't give a shit about.
I was going to say, we don't have any kind of reputation for doing that at all.
I'm trying to think what other series we could do this for. I could easily do 25 from 14, but I don't know if you have been exposed to enough of that soundtrack to do that.
I don't think I've been exposed enough.
Pokemon would be easy. Kingdom Hearts would be easy. Zelda would be easy.
Final Fantasy. But like the series, well,
that's tough if we're going to tackle
series
all
as a
of them.
whole,
because then you're also bringing 14 into play for me.
That's true. Okay, maybe.
But maybe
we might have to.
There's just so many different like main Final Fantasy and side Final Fantasy games that we might have to try and find something.
We might have to try and
maybe main entries. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, well, we'll have to find a way to kind of truncate that a little bit.
Kingdom Hearts with all the side games has as many. It doesn't have as many main games as Final Fantasy does.
Yes.
And just the numeric titles. Forget all the side shit.
Yes.
Because like Crystal Chronicles would probably have 2 tracks on my top 25 if we went all of Final Fantasy.
Right. Or like War of the Lions would have something on my list. So like, yeah, that would be
Pokemon, Zelda, maybe Phoenix Wright. I don't know if I have 25 I feel strongly enough about. Maybe after I play through the new one, which I haven't started yet.
Oh, that's true. I might be. Yeah, I don't know if I can get 25. Maybe. It's possible.
That was one where I'd have to reach. I can think of 15 or maybe 20 that I really like. I don't know. I would have to really look into it. Whereas this one, I was like, I don't know all of them off the top of my head, but I know I have 25 plus songs I love in this series.
Right. Yeah. Phoenix Wright could be challenging. Although we could pull in like Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. That would count, I think. Right?
Yeah. Maybe Mario, but the scope of that's kind of a problem. But so is Zelda, so I don't know.
We'll have to give it some thought, but I mean, I'm down for doing a number of those, depending on. Let me pull up my list of like video game music and see.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through my phone just to see what else is on here. But those are the ones that stick out to me. Thought about Persona, but like like a lot of modern fans, I've only played 3, 4, and 5, and a couple of the side games like Q and Dancing All Night, which is just other Persona music, anyways. So I don't know 1 and 2.
Fire Emblem.
I mean, maybe.
I don't know if there's. Could be 25
I can think of
songs,
like 10
maybe.
off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Tough to get to 25. Don't necessarily have to do 25. We could just spotlight our favorite tracks from a certain series. But
also true.
25 is that perfect number for a list. Anyways, we'll kind of talk it out. If you have any suggestions, obviously you guys know some of what we've played. You can't just suggest a series we haven't, because while it would be cool to go through a series and listen to its music, I don't want to come in blind and be like, oh, this song seems great. I love it when I play it in that part of the game. That boss fight sure was intense. You're like, no, you fucker, it's a town theme. I'm like, oh, God.
Oh, no, I'm so embarrassed.
And then fucking Heated Mind starts playing. I'm like, why?
Oh, God.
Anyways, that's the end of this endeavor. We'll have some updates on the future of the channel coming up here. We did this to take a couple weeks off, basically. So as these play, we'll be starting to formulate a plan. Maybe it'll be more of this. Maybe it'll be the next game. But drop us a note in the comments. As always, like, subscribe, all that jazz. And we'll see you in the next video.